And welcome to our ambassador call. Now I can get it right. Nobody will know. October 7th, 2020, as they're listening to the recording. We're here and we're really feeling this format. We've had so much positive feedback. I don't know if everybody has had a chance. You know, the people who show up to these community calls, and if you're lucky enough to be an ambassador or ambassador support calls, we've been opening up the front of the call with a forum for wins. People to share a moment where they've had success, anything in your energetic body, in your physical body, in the mental bandwidth that you have for our current election, whatever the win is associated with AmpCoil. We've been having lots of positive feedback on allowing for the first 15 minutes of the call for people to share wins and just speak a little bit about their experience. Now, I always have ones that people email me. I always have shares from the AmpCoil AQ team or our support team, but I'd really rather take this time to just hear from our community. So I think I'm going to kick it off with Marjorie. Marjorie, if you want to unmute, you can do your *6.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay. Yeah, so this is kind of an example of not really reaching out to people, but them seeing the device working for people they know, and just kind of they store it in the back of their mind. But I was contacted by one of my daughter's former school teachers telling me she had a rash and she wanted to know if the AmpCoil could help with that. And I'm like, yeah, piece of cake, come on over. So she came over and we did a voice print, and it showed integumentary and a particular tick-borne illness. And I said, I'm not telling you you have a tick-borne illness. I'm just telling you this is kind of resonating in your body for now. And because you had a bug bite and you have a rash at the site of the bug bite, I think that we should do the program for bites. I think we did bites, and I think we did her tick-borne illness. And overnight, her rash disappeared. Okay. So I said, well, you'll need to come back a few more times to ensure that, we're making sure this isn't an issue for you in the future. And after her third visit, she acquired an AmpCoil. So, and she's very excited because she says, oh my goodness, I could use this for my little boys. I could use this, my husband could use the relaxation program. And she just wrote I have a little book that I have people write in, and she said, after one session with the AmpCoil, my rash disappeared the next day. I'm so thankful that I didn't need to use a higher steroid dose. And she's just very grateful. So that was fun. It's fun when you can actually see, and I wish we had taken the before picture, but the before and after was just incredibly, the results were amazing.
Beautiful.
Great share.
Mm-hmm.
All right, friends. Well, I don't want to coach anybody to get up, but if you want to do a share, it can be anything. The littlest victory. I think it's just nice to hear from other people. So if you want to do *6 to unmute, and if you need any help, you can put your name in the chat and I can unmute you, or we can you can type in something that you want to share and I'll be happy to read it. So we'll just kind of scan the cameras. Faye, go ahead.
Hi, I just thought this is from a little from a couple months ago, but I thought it was apropos because we have the elections coming up, and I think regardless of which side whoever people are voting for, and I don't hate anyone, I can't hate anyone, but I just thought this was such a beautiful win. One of our participants in the program, months later, he was helping me. And I must say that what I noticed, a lot of people from the program did acquire AmpCoils, but they kept getting better for months afterwards. I mean, that was extraordinary. Anyway, he was helping me to sell my car. And so I had to take my car there, and then he had to drive me back. And so we're going for this long ride, it's like 40 minutes. And among other things, we're having this conversation, and they were, I mean, he walked into the program, you know, a misogynist, just like racist, terrible. And he really transformed. And I think that was something that really surprised people, how they were transforming. But he said one golden thing that, that I never thought I'd hear, and probably may not again. But he said, he goes, well, now he goes, I just have to say that I'm really upset with myself for having voted for Trump. And I just thought, yay, like when would you ever like praise the AmpCoil? I mean, that was amazing, truly transformative.
Awesome. Awesome. Good share, Faye.
Mhm.
And I still want to, I have some stuff that people have sent me. We have some wonderful things from Wellness for Humanity. Janine.
Can you hear me? I don't know. Is
Yes.
it working? Hi, I'm Jeannie Sawyer, and this is my very first opportunity to get on a call with everybody. So I know I don't really have many successes yet, other than I have my AmpCoil, and I've not had an official demo, but my neighbor came over and I gave her the harmonizer thing, and she's really excited about coming back and trying more of the programs. So I'm off to a great start. So thanks for having me.
That's awesome, Jeannie. And where are we reaching you in the United States?
I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, that's right. I know right where you are. I know right where you are.
Yes.
We talked a couple times.
Yes, absolutely.
It's nice to see your smiling face.
Likewise.
And now, Jeannie, you got to do quite a few demos before you acquired an AmpCoil, correct?
Yes, I had 3 different occasions where I had an opportunity to sit with Rennie Swains with her AmpCoil. She's clear on the opposite side of the valley from me. We're kitty corner. So I think we may be the only 2 in Las Vegas that do demos. I may be incorrect on that, but not sure.
I think we have one more. I think we have a gentleman named Tim.
Okay.
Tim in the area. Yep.
Maybe he's right in between us. He could be centrally located. That would be great.
Tim Carras. He does comment once in a while in the Facebook community group, but he's another one. He was a huge fan. He's had lots of different PEMF tools and devices, and he said nothing's ever been like this. He's like, I have the best demos of this. He loves it.
Absolutely. And it's just an amazing opportunity to help other people heal in different modalities other than the ones that I utilize for my clients currently. So it's a great, exciting new venture for me.
Wonderful. It's super nice to meet you, Jeannie.
Likewise.
Yes. All right, friends. Who else wants to do it? Does anybody else want to unmute? Gary.
Howdy. This is Gary. I'm in Fort Colorado. And I've been remodeling my house. So I've been all hard and haven't been billing very much. It's just the coil was sitting in the corner, and last Thursday I wall pushing, and kind of just like didn't feel good in my digestion, just like I ate too much and ate the wrong things and just quit eating. And then first day I did gallbladder, liver, and organs. And the next day I did intestine, heart. So that was Thursday, Friday. And I have just been, ever since, I've had so much energy, I can't believe it. And I know this. I've experienced similar things before, and it's just interesting when enough time goes by, I forget. And it's nice to have that reminder of how powerful this tool is.
Yeah, it is easy to forget. I know we get caught up in the day-to-day. And that's a great share, Gary. Thank you for speaking up on the call. We always like to hear everybody's voice. It's beautiful.
Thanks.
Sarah, did you had raised your hand too, yes? Go ahead. You can do a *6. Here, I'll hit unmute as well.
I like one.
Okay. Yeah. We actually we planned my husband and I planned like a really short or like wedding in August. So like we actually haven't been on a regular schedule since then. But I was really excited to get the email about the moon because I was having difficulty sleeping and just like weird dreams or like night sweats and stuff. And then I started doing the moon frequency, and that was like really helpful. And we've been doing like a lot of awesome like cleansing stuff with following Medical Medium, if anybody follows them. We really enjoy it. And so even though we haven't gotten in our rhythm again with the AmpCoil, we're really excited because definitely with the cleanse, we've been feeling that, and from our previous work with the AmpCoil. So we're excited to get back into a rhythm. And it feels good just to be here. So I'm excited to be here.
Amazing. Thank you, Sarah. And for those who didn't hear on the top of the call, you are in Montana, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's great.
Good, clean air.
Yeah. Most of the time, but we get it from the West Coast too.
Yep, most of the time. Wonderful share. All right, I'm going to scan the screens. Avram, do you want to unmute? Go ahead, you should be good.
Oh, I wish I could report clean air, but I'm looking out the window at terrible air. Some of you may know we had a terrible fire here in Ashland, Oregon, where I live. Not really in our town. The fire started in our town, but in the next two towns over, more than 2,800 families lost their homes. So it was pretty traumatic to our community. So my win is that I have a good friend who has a community acupuncture office, and he's been using the AmpCoil about once a week for a couple of months now, and he loves it. So he's offered his office to me for demoing, and I can send out an email to 500 people on his list. So I'm interested if anybody who's either a practitioner or acupuncturist or holistic health practitioner would be willing to help me with writing this email that I'm going to send out, because I feel like I really need some support for how to word the email and what to offer and how to go. And I'd also want to make it available also to victims of the fire, like if there's people that lost their homes and would like to get some support in that way. And how would I phrase that? How would I? So that's just, there's just, I just feel like I need support, and because sending out this email is a great opportunity to reach 500 people in the community, and I want to do it in a good way.
Well, we can definitely support you, Avram. I would just, while we've got Marjorie on the call, I know Marjorie, you do quite a few reach outs in your community, and you do use an email service called Constant Contact that you're really a fan of. Do you have the method to the madness when you reach out to an individual versus if you were to reach out to a practitioner or a center?
I'm not sure what you're asking, but I was thinking I could send a sample message to you. Is it Avram?
Avram, yeah.
I could send you what I have sent to lay people, not to practitioners per se.
Yeah, no, this is going out to clients, people that come.
Of your practitioner.
This people come for acupuncture and Chinese herbs.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to draft something, I'd be happy to look at it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I do use Constant Contact. I can help people use Constant Contact. But yeah, I think the main thing is you want to show the compassion you have and tell people if you need something for relaxation or depression, or, for the lungs, perhaps, the airway. Yeah. I'm sure someone's going to be talking about that on the program tonight. But I would definitely just, indicate your desire to help people who are struggling physically and emotionally during all these crises.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys.
Does anybody, I don't know if there's people there from California, but has anybody been using it with people that have been inhaling a lot of smoke?
Well,
They have experience.
what I would assume is that Lori Marcus is probably on for support, who's probably talked to the most people. So I'm just going to see if I can't unmute Lori and see if she has any feedback on that for us.
I've seen people posting on the AmpCoil Facebook pages that they're seeing relief using, I believe, airways and lungs and organs. But anyway, we'll see what Lori says.
Hi guys, Laura here.
Hi, Lori.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, Freddie, I just have to say that camera you're using, you look so fantastic. Am I right?
It's all
everybody?
lighting.
Oh my gosh, it's like, yeah, talk about professional. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in California too. I'm in Tahoe, and you know, we get it pretty much. It just sits here over the lake, and you know, it's just starting to get under 100. It's been, you know, in the 200s and up. And so personally, here's what I would do. I mean, definitely the airways in general detox. But I also think, you know, this is a good time for people that have a chance to use it more than once to go into Wellness 2020, because not only does it have, you know, Wellness 2020 isn't just for COVID. It's for, you know, it's for all kinds of immune support. So you're going to boost your immune because you know that's going down when your emotions go down. It has emotional support, and it has a lot for respiratory. So on all levels, emotional, physical, spiritual levels, you know, I'd sit down and do a little Wellness 2020. That would be, you know, my thought. And also, of course, in the organs, you know, supporting the lungs, but so much of it is emotion. So even if, you know, you split it up and you do airways, you know, make sure that you get in there and do emotions 23 as well, because that's kind of big, you know, and there's a lot of fear going on. So that would be what I would be doing.
Amazing. Really, 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 really great tips. And I always, you know, if anybody has questions, that's the best thing about AmpCoil, in my opinion, is our support team. They're so knowledgeable, and they, you know, it's all about how many people they've worked with in the past, and the collective, they're going to have a really great take on how to utilize these programs and the software, how it unfolds. Lori, we may call on you again, so stick around.
I'm not going anywhere. And you do look hot, Freddie.
Thank you, Lori. I appreciate that. It's all lighting. It's all lighting. That's what they tell you. It's the camera. You could have a really bad camera, but if you have a good light, and that's our filmmaker, Russell, will tell us the same thing. We just went down to a center in New Jersey, Belmar, New Jersey, and there's a center there. It's an integrative wellness group, and what they do is they really work with bodies like a fish tank. You know, they believe in optimizing detoxification pathways, sweating with saunas, ionic foot baths, integrating. They have I think they have 6 AmpCoils now going there. It's a very, I know, it's very, very busy. And we went down because they've had such great success in their clinic working with integrating AmpCoil as a tool in whatever they're doing. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be someone under a dire situation. It could be a Wall Street executive who's going through extreme fatigue or just stress. They're integrating AmpCoil across the board with everybody, and people are really tuning into it. But we went down there and we set up a film crew, and we got them on tape a little bit just to speak about their experience as doctors. And it was really fascinating, you know, setting up the lights for the set with our filmmaker, and how you could change 2 or 3 different angles, and the person could come off. It could be really, they could feel like they're in the present, or it could have this feeling of something being in the distant, in the past, just by angles of light, or changing someone's demeanor for them to be very bright and optimistic, or someone looking very ominous. So it's very interesting how light interacts. I could almost tie that in with the thing we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about energy is everything. This is a very common question, but I still want to we have plenty of time. I still want to give the floor to anybody. If anybody wants to speak up about an AmpCoil win that they want to share, or if they have a specific question, I'm just going to scan the screens on my side. And if you want to unmute, feel free. And if not, I'll share some that I have from Wellness for Humanity. And let me hit this share button. We can always go back. You can always unmute yourself. And we'll share the screen. Let me minimize this window, these cute little nuggets here. And we'll go to present. Standard. So I like how I need to always talk myself through it. Okay, look at this beautiful, lovely, healing soul here. So we've got some of these images from Jessa, who obviously works with the Wellness for Humanity Foundation. And let me click through to the other slide. So this is Elle. So the AmpCoil has been teaching this human being to listen deeply to how the body and the world around me are constantly communicating important messages. The AmpCoil supported my healing after a very bad car accident a few months ago. Pain release, organ tune-up, and relax all journeys helped my wounds heal quickly and my nervous system and anxiety after the trauma of the accident. And more recently, I've been working with AmpCoil 3 days on, 1 day off to support me in a recent autoimmune diagnosis affecting my thyroid. I'm making my way through the general detox journeys and targeting my endocrine system when I need extra care. Detox Assist, found in the nutrition album, has been my secret weapon to support me whenever I feel too exhausted or dealing with that hit by a truck type of feeling. It's 18 minutes and I usually feel magically better after I sit with that. It surprises me every single time. AmpCoil helps me rest, recover, rebalance, and feel overall generally better on a sustainable journey to wellness. I'm so grateful for this magical device finding its way into my life, and for Jessa and the team at AmpCoil for providing us support. So maybe if Jessa's internet is connection on, we can hear a little more about how she's supporting some of these people. Let's just go back and see this smiling face once again. You know, sometimes you just need the AmpCoil in your life. So now we get to the cute nuggets, because these kids are so cute. I sent Jessa like the oh my heart is breaking emoji. So this is from Lisa Wise in Utah. We're overjoyed and thankful to be using AmpCoil to help recover from Lyme and chronic illness in our home. Wellness for Humanity is an incredible organization, and we are seeing positive shifts using the restorative journeys, and we can't wait to make more progress towards recovering health. This is Carter. Carter's smile is the absolute best. Now these ones, just pull out the tissues and go ahead and get ready. Oh my goodness. Look at this grumpy guy here with the tears, and this is him right after. So I'm just gonna try to move this. Oh wait, we can't spoil that one. Marcus woke up after, I can't read it because it's out of the screen. Zoom is taking up my window. Anyways, he was crying and he was very upset about his knee pain and his joint pain from his Lyme, and they put Detox Assist on him. And this is before and after, just passed out. You know, kids really do. We always say that kids take on the information of the coil. They work with entrainment. Obviously, they pick up languages, they pick up skills faster, and they really do respond to AmpCoil. I've had so many parents calling me lately, and I'd love to talk about that a little bit on the call, but parents of children with Lyme, I absolutely know that if you could have the magic wand and trade places, you would. And our little kids really do well. So I thought that was just the cutest picture. The next one, I can't even with this one. Look at this face. She is over it. This is a woman's daughter who very often gets stomach aches. And those have always been the worst for her, including headaches. And after 5 minutes, she was passed out and sleeping with her coil. Again, Detox Assist has been a really great journey for these families. So I just think it's nice to see, you know, we do get these wonderful shares from families that are being helped with Wellness for Humanity. I'm just going to scroll through, and if I can see if Jessa is on. Jessa wants to say anything about these. I know she's having a challenging internet day.
I can share a Wellness for Humanity family's status. The Darrow family. I spoke with her a couple of weeks ago, and the mom she's running. She's walking the track, she's running, she wants to get back to running, but her whole family is doing great. I think she said they only had one priority item above 85 in their microbes, metals, and toxins. And she said that her Son is super strong and they're sleeping well, they're eating well. She's lost weight. She's just ecstatic, and she has a goal. I think she said she wanted to run a half marathon.
Wow.
It's just to see the light in their eyes and hear the joy. It's really, really fantastic.
There's something really special about the families who do get those devices, and we usually, they have a great guide in Jessa. They have the support team to utilize them, and I think that one thing that we see is this, they're so on board for that time that they do get that initial 3 to 4 months. I know sometimes it's extended based on need, but we really do. I think Jess has told me this before. I think she has dropped off because of bad internet, but that across the board, almost everybody with a device is doing really, really good. And I know they take time and they read the review process. They really think about where they place those devices, and they do try to make sure it's a good fit. And there's an understanding on the consistency and what it's going to take to move forward with incremental gains.
If I could say, in that particular family, they had a 4-month grant, and they could not afford to acquire their own unit. And so they went several months without it, and they got sicker, and they realized they really needed to have it in their lives. So I believe they actually got a grant from another foundation. And eventually, with that support and support from the community, they were able to acquire their own unit.
Amazing. Amazing. And you know what? Now that you say the dark, I think I read the letter that they had written to AmpCoil about them not realizing what it had done for them until it was gone. I think it was about a year ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember reading that letter, and I remember that these were people that you had worked with initially.
Yeah, you'll see them in the next newsletter from the foundation.
Amazing. Amazing. Great share, Margie. Thank you. So I will pivot here, and let me just pull my screen back up again, because I have one more share that we're going to do, and then we can open it up to the floor. Just bear with. All right, the energetic body. So we're going to go a little we're going to go a little high school physics here for a second, but I think it's fun. Again, talking to people about AmpCoil and pulse electromagnetic field and frequency, I'm always learning things by where questions come from, and it's very interesting how there is a trend. There's a trend with how information comes into the field and what people are asking about. Even month to month, I notice it shifts. And one thing that I do get a question about a lot is the energetic body, and when I start talking to people about AmpCoil and what it is, we say AmpCoil is a tool that works with the energetic body, really and truly. The physical manifestation is downstream. So I think I just put together like 7 slides just to kind of give us a little walkthrough of the space between space. And let me just share this slide here. Perfect. And I'll go to present mode. And so here we are with the energetic body. We'll just talk about the energetic body for a minute and what it means to move through space, and how the energetic body complements the physical body. So when we talk about the energetic body, I think it's really humbling just to consider the fact that your friends and your office and your car and everything in this incredible unit is almost entirely empty space, 99.99999% empty space. If I reference certain physics principles up there, that I'll always remind us that these are theory, because at one point we had a theory that the earth was flat, and we continue to evolve our discoveries. But based on this is a theory. So if the nucleus were the size of a peanut and the atom were the size of a baseball stadium, if we lost all the dead space, all the empty space inside our atoms, we would each be able to fit into a particle of dust. And the entire human species would be able to fit into the volume of a sugar cube. If you want to feel small for a second, just let that sink in. I'm going to move on. That slide makes me uncomfortable. So the question is, well, where does my mass come from? And the answer is our energy. And at a very basic level, this is a total brush over. At a basic level, we're all made of atoms, which are made of electrons, protons, and neutrons. So at an even more basic, and perhaps the most basic, those protons and neutrons, which hold the bulk of our mass, are made up of a trio of fundamental particles called quarks. There'll be a test on this later. So if our atoms are mostly, and I want this little share screen to go away. Oh, skip the slide. Jackie, can you read that top sentence for me? I can't see it from the Zoom screen.
Yeah, if our atoms are mostly space, why can't we pass through things like weird ghost people?
That's a great statement, Jackie. Why can't we pass through things like weird ghost people? And you can think of the empty space. You can think about the empty space in an atom as you might think about an electrical fan with rotating blades. And when the fan isn't in motion, you can tell that there's lots of what's inside that fan is just emptiness. There's empty space in there. And you can stick your hand into the space between the blades and wiggle your fingers and then nothingness. But when the fan is turned on, it's a different story. And if you're silly enough to shove your hand into that empty space, then those blades will eventually swing around and they smack it relentlessly again and again and again, should you be that type of person. So technically electrons, they're a source point, which means they have no volume. And the blades of the fan are akin to electrons zipping around the atom. And they're occupying chunks of space at times in their waveform. And it's a painful reminder that what might seem like empty space can feel really solid when we apply different rates of amplitude to the electrons. And we can think of electrons like a swarm of bees or birds, where they're in individual motion. They're way too fast to track. And actually electrons, depending on who you follow, really they look like this shape of like a swarm. And actually the electrons are doing a dance, and there's no better word for it, because it's not random. It's almost like ballroom dancing, and there are patterns depending on what's going on with other cells and other electrons and other atoms. So where they're moved in a set pattern and they're following steps laid down by a mathematical equation. If you look up Erwin Schrödinger, he has a mathematical equation for that. And it's really, really fascinating. So that's like the dance of this energetic field. And the reason we talk about the energy and the movement and the spin, right? I think maybe some people have been lucky enough to be on the phone with Geneva or Lori and talk about left and right spin and how we have these different dances in this choreography and what gives us our mass. So in this mass and this spin and these electrons, we get this magnetic field. And so if we accept that sound is vibration, and we know that vibration touches every part of our physical being, then we understand sound is not heard through the ears, but it goes through the cells of the body, and it goes through the space between space. And one reason sound heals on this physical level is because it so deeply touches and transforms us on the emotional and the spiritual planes. That's from Dr. Mitchell Gaynor. I've shared that quote before. So we've got this idea, we've got this image of these spinning dances, these choreographed symphonies, all these electrons in the body, and that mass, that magnetism actually giving us this feeling like we have this density in this shape. I thought it was a fascinating little walkthrough that I've been thinking about. I did a presentation for another group, and when we think about this magnetism, you know, I always think of the fishbowl analogy. I think of this fishbowl analogy where, you know, we hear again and again and again, the environment, the terrain. How do we make this healthy terrain for happy fish with oxygen and harmony and good light? And so within that milieu, in that bioterrain, we have this dance, this healthy dance, this pattern of electronic flow. And I think that's when we hear testimonials like Wellness for Humanity, like Marjorie's family, they basically had the double blind. You know, they were with it, they were without it, they're with it again. And they can experience what the shift was in the energetic body, what that was like, and how you actually put words to it. Whether it's a sleeping child, whether it's a family that's experiencing better wellness, or it's a teenager recovering from some type of a traumatic event or an accident. So anyways, I just wanted to make that offering to you as just a little walkthrough. It's a very, very common question. And sometimes it's really helpful for me to kind of do a deep dive and paint things out almost like a little bit of a slideshow, and just to bring a little more understanding. And now, like I said in the beginning, these are theories. They really are. They're theories. And science is changing. It's evolving. I think one of the most important science attributes or attachments we can bring to it is our humility. Our humility as we're beings of understanding what we're currently in, and that's going to change and evolve. Carrie Usselman, I see you jumping on here, your lovely smiling picture. So nice to be here. Was not able for the first half, but it's always good to have you on the call as well, Carrie. Wonderful. So my friends, I kind of want to take this. We have 8:16. We have a little time left. If anybody has any questions, do you want to share something, Carrie? I see you bumped your camera on. Lovely.
I'm just so happy to be here, and thanks for all those beautiful shares. And they're really inspiring. They're so inspiring. And, you know, when people can get into those areas of the deeper dives with the cleanses, I see very similar things in how it makes such a profound shift. And when you were talking about the swirling electrons, you know, there is no, when we think about space and no space, we can be in physical presence and not with the same efficacy. And I have found that remarkable too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And I think we could say that's a bunch of different things, right? We can say that's the power of prayer. We can say that's intention. We can say that's distance healing, whatever we want to think about. But the idea that we're not connected starts to seem silly when it's just a difference of a density and different magnetic fields around things giving shape. So I think it is really powerful. And for me, what it empowers me with is when I do work with someone, I'm aware of the power between us, between two human beings, that electrostatic energy that's between us. And whenever I'm working with somebody on the phone, or I'm coaching somebody, or we're working together through an issue, whether it's physical or it's emotional, that to honor the power that you have as a facilitator for healing, holding space and being there is so magical. You know, we often say, people will say, they're like, you know, I joke, but people will say, they're like, oh, well, everybody goes to the barn, does really well. Everybody goes, gets better. I'm like, well, Kathy Wheelhand holds very special space. You know, she's very good at what she does. She holds space. That's it. She doesn't do anything special. She doesn't know anything special about the coil. You know, Marjorie has an incredible list of working with people who do very, very, very well for the whole time the AmpCoil has been around. Marjorie knows how to hold space and honor people and bring her past and honor their story. So there's something to it. And I know you do that as well, Carrie. And it is a role that we do step into, and we honor the role and we honor the power in it. We 10x its potential.
just following up with that, I mean, the being present, being truly present from a heart space just gives it that, it just is exponential. It enlivens things and adds a component that if it were just sitting there with a robot, it wouldn't be the same. It's not the same. So that element of presence with grace and love and a knowing that somebody can actually shift inspires the shift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway.
Beautiful. Great share. I wanna open it up. We have 10 minutes left. This is really this community's chance to ask us questions. You've got me, we've got Jackie, we've got Lori on the line. You can ask questions to other ambassadors, other people who are on the call and coming into the community first time. Maybe there's people on the call that have never ever even done an AmpCoil session. If somebody's on here and they've never done an AmpCoil session, feel free to unmute and we can answer a question about how you might get started or find somebody, because I know that's a thing. I just I did a talk to a group yesterday in Sonoma, California. 40 people, they'd never heard about any of these things. They were fascinated to know that it is a thing, and it's people are doing better and thriving and bringing in some of this technology. The one interesting thing, Carrie, just saying it out loud, is because you said the word heart space. And I know we say that, but it's easy to get in the head with technology. And it's easy to get into, this is my formulaic equation to move forward. These are the days off I knew. These are the minerals that I need. There really is something for bringing the heart space into everything that you do. And that's measurable. We know that's a measurable thing to outcome. We know that because of the placebo effect or the nocebo effect, for people to believe they're getting a sugar pill and really doing well. And that can also be amplified, but it's actually a tool you can use to your benefit with whatever you're doing, with whatever coiling journey. Maybe you don't have a coil or access to AmpCoil. Maybe it's hands on the heart. Maybe it's the way you interact with your neighbor, any of it.
Beautiful.
Yes. I want to give over the floor. So if somebody wants to unmute, if maybe you've never talked on our community call before, we would love to hear from you. And I'm going to scroll through the screens and wait until I see somebody. We have Barbara, we have Howard, we have Julie, we have Sheila, we have Stephanie, we have Amanda.
Avram wants to talk.
Abram, here we go.
So this is an experience kind of supports what you were just talking about. I have a friend who has multiple health issues, and she's been coming twice a week. But at the last session, when it was over, she wanted to talk, but I said, I'm feeling kind of low energy. Maybe I could coil and you could, hold the space for me the way I hold the space for you. Well, she's really into working with ascended masters and angels, which I used to be, but haven't really been so much in the last few years. So she did this whole introduction to my doing my coiling, where she called in a whole bunch of archangels and Michael. And anyway, I had just done the same program a couple of days ago by myself. And I really felt the difference. It was like the AmpCoil got amped up to even another level just by her there holding the space and calling in these angels of support. It was like the energy got, twice as strong. It was an amazing experience.
That's a really good point, Avram. I would offer to anybody, has anybody here, are you always the person that puts the coil on someone else and pushes play for their journey? Do you ever let somebody do it for you? Marjorie, do you let somebody coil you? Jackie, do you let someone coil you? No, me neither. The couple times that it's happened, it really is like just to have someone squeeze your feet and place the coil and like, what do you want to run? It feels really amazing to allow yourself to be taken care of once in a while. And I think there are certain personality types that will do that. And there's other of us that we're the caretakers. So I would just, maybe that's the really good takeaway for our call is maybe if you've never had someone give you an AmpCoil session, that you ask someone to place the coil on your body and select your program and maybe gives your feet a squeeze and, put a nice warm blanket on. That sounds like a good action item.
It's a great idea.
And give us a facial while they're at it.
Yeah, and a facial. All right, so I'm scrolling. We got 5 more minutes, team. We can end with a gentle little meditation. I'm happy to facilitate that.
Hi, this is Amanda Renee. I just had a quick question. I'm calling in from Eugene, Oregon. I used to live in Grass Valley, Nevada City area, but anyhow, I'm in Eugene now. I was just wondering how I can get rolling on offering demos up here.
Yeah, Amanda. So have you been on an ambassador call yet?
I think I have a while back, yeah, but not consistently.
So Amanda, I think the best thing to do is just send me or Jessa an email. You can go Freddie at AmpCoil or Jessa at AmpCoil. and we can just make sure you're up to date on that training call. And so we have an ambassador onboarding call, and then we have a demo provider call. So if someone were to call in your area, that will kind of look up zip code and give a best fit by closeness of proximity. So if you email one of us, we can get you going and see where you're at. And if you need to be on one more call, we can facilitate that.
Great, thanks.
Wonderful, great question. So I am scrolling. Last opportunity. Okay, team, let's do it. Let's do a little, we'll bring it out with a little breath together. Centered breath for the greatest good, for the greatest intention. Okay, let's make this one fun. Oh, maybe I should sing everybody goodbye.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's put our hands above our head. Let's do a little prayer sign. Just shake the hands like this. Shake forward. Front and back. Front and back. Go ahead and break up the field in front of you. Change your vibration. And then just go ahead and do a cross crawl pattern. There we go. Right in front of the heart. Right in front of the thyroid, the mouth, the face. Connect the sides of the brain. Bend that field. Look at everybody being weird on the cameras. We'll do right hand over heart. And we'll do left hand over heart. Now just roll your fingers across your chest. Tap your chest. Breathe in your heart. That one's for peace. Breathe in. Let it go. For gratitude. Deep breath in. Let it go. Together. Because we're all in this together. Thank you, everybody, for being on this call. Always my honor to host. I'm going to go ahead and hit unmute. Unmute all. Bye, friends.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank
Get well,
you.
stay well and safe.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Everybody.